So, good morning, students. In last class, we have discussed the mechanism of an evolution. That is, we have discussed firstly the adaptive radiation as well as the mechanism of the evolution. So, here this how the mechanism of evolution is explains. That is by the three scientists. One is Mendel, second one is the Darwins, and the third one is Hugo Davis. So they explain how they are taken place in an evolution. According to that, here it was supported and stated a statement. That statement we can call as the Weinberg Law. So here now we will discuss the Weinberg Law, and later we will discuss the factor affecting the Weinberg Law. That is first coming to the Weinberg Law. Weinberg. So here what is this Weinberg Law? So here how it can be defined as in this the Weinberg Law defined it can be defined in a large population. In a large population, the gene frequency of various kinds of genes. In a large population, the gene frequency of various kinds of genes remains constant. Remains a constant generation after generation under certain conditions. Then it is called as the Weinberg Law. So here it can be stated as it can be defined as in a large population, the gene frequency of various kinds of genes remains a constant generation after generation under certain conditions. Then it is called as a Weinberg Law, where here the gene frequency, frequency of various kinds of genes. Here already we know that the genes are presenting in an alleles at a point called as a locus. So the genes which are presenting, that means what is the gene frequency means it is the presenting of one allele is present in another allele of the same locus. That means the genes which are present at one allele of another allele, they are presenting at the same locus, then we can call that as a gene frequency. So here these will be changing, that means the genes will remain constant generation after generation under certain conditions, then it is we can call as the Weinberg. It was discovered by the two scientists. It was proposed by proposal by G.H. R.D., an British mathematician, a British mathematician, and second one is E. Weinberg, a Germany, a physicist. So these are the two scientists where they explains their proposal by the had given a Law, where this is a proposal, the altitudes of these proposal was explained on the factors of one is an evolution, it is on factors of an evolution and a gene frequency. In the gene frequencies, in these two, it helpful for an adaptation for this. That means to formation here in evolution, it takes place in evolution as well as in a gene frequencies. It was discovered by the Hardiven as well as the Weinberg, where here these two scientists they are depending upon, that means the gene frequency which is presenting, it may be depending upon the either a dominancy or a recessiveness. It may be depending upon a dominancy as well as a recessive, but remains unchanged from generation to a generations. That is the gene frequency which is taken place, it may depends upon the dominancy or the recessiveness of a generation to a generation under certain conditions that will be depending upon the gene frequency only. So here this is mainly depending upon a gene frequency, means here the different alleles which are presenting in an alleles, that is it can be, that means in the gene frequency will be taken place the ratio of, it can be defined as the ratio of different alleles in a gene, in a population. That means it is the different alleles presenting the ratio of different alleles in a gene present in a population, we can call as a gene frequencies. That is here we can explain this a gene frequency. What is gene frequency? Means it is a ratio of different alleles present in a gene in a population. That means here different gene means here one gene population in another gene population, where one gene alleles in a population and another gene in an alleles of another population, but they are presenting at the same locus. The genes both are presenting at this, which are presenting, their ratio will be different only, but they should be presenting at the same locus. That means alleles which are presenting in different ratios, but they are depending upon the same locus only they are presenting, then such type of process or that is called as a gene frequency. This may be depending upon either dominancy or a recessiveness, but remains constant from generation to a generation under a certain conditions. That was taken place by the two scientists, one is Hardy as well as Weinberg. So here he proposed the law called as the Hardy-Weinberg law, where it can be defined as in a large population the gene frequency of various kinds of genes will remain constant from generation to generation under a certain conditions. So this process we can call as the Hardy-Weinberg. So here the factors which affecting the rate of the Hardy-Weinberg. What are the factors that affect means we'll discuss now. So here factor effects on Hardy-Weinberg law. Hardy-Weinberg. So here what are the factors means? First one, it should be taken place in a largely sexually reproducing population only. That is the first one. It should be taken place. It should be in largely sexually reproducing population. So here it should be, first one is it should be taken place largely in a sexually reproducing a population. It should be taken place. And the second one, in this population mating should be taken place random. The second one is it should be taken place. It should be taken place in largely sexual reproducing population, and mating in a sexual reproduction, it should be taken place reproduction randomly. It should be mating. It should be mating. It should be mating random. It should be taken place. That means in a population, the mating should be taken place a random. That is taken place. Mating should be taken place randomly. It is taken place. The allele frequency of male and female should be the same also. Here, in third one is the allele frequency, which is presenting in an Hardy-Weinberg, that male and female allele frequency should be same also, should be taken place, and also the allele genophyte is equal viable and fertility. Here the third one is the allele frequency. The allele frequency should be the allele frequency of a male and a female. The male and the female should be same. And the allele genophytes, the allele genophyte should be viable and a fertility. The fourth one is the allele genotype. The allele genotype should be viability and a fertility. And here the last one will show us that here the evolution factors such as mutation, migration and selection should not occur. So evolution occurs only when equilibrium is unaltered. The third one is the factors, that is the evolution factors. The last one is the evolution factors. The evolution factors such as mutation, natural selection, and migration. Should not alter this law. That means it is not affecting this law. That means should not occurs. That means here should not occurs. Should not occur. But what happens here? The equilibrium will be maintained. It involves only when the equilibrium is unaltered. So the evolution is involves evolution involves the equilibrium is equilibrium is altered. So these are the 5 factors which helpful for the rating the factors of an Weinberg Law. That means these are the factors which affect the rate of the Weinberg. First one is it should be taken place in largely sexual reproducing population and should be random, mating should be random, and also the early frequency of male and female should be the same, and early frequency here a genotype, the allele is a genotype. Already we know that in principles of variations and inheritance. In principles of inheritance and variations, we have discussed the what is a phenotype and what is a genotype. So here the allele or the allele genotype should be availability and fertility. That means here genotype means here will having the internal constituency of a gene. That means internal structure of a gene we can call as a genotype. That genotype should be availability. That means lifespan should be presenting and they should be reproduce the young ones. That would be taken place in a gene frequency. And evolution factors such as mutation and natural selection and migration should not occur. But in evolution it involves the equilibrium should be unaltered. That means when equilibrium is taken place, then only this principle is helpful for and shows that the evolution is taken place. And that means if gene flow, the gene frequencies will be not be taken place. Here the equilibrium will be an equilibrium. That means it is in constant from generation to a generation. If they may altered, that means if it is taken place, the genes may extra taken place, or it may changes from environmental factors, or it may be factors or mutations and natural selections, or otherwise the reproduction or speciation. These factors will affecting the rate of the Weinberg. Then it will altered, the equilibrium is altered, means we cannot say the factors of an equilibrium, that is a Weinberg Law. Where here they given a principle, here they given a principle called as P, an equation P plus Q is equal to 1, or otherwise it is 100 percentage. That means in an equation it shows a P plus Q is equal to 1. That means here the alleles which are presenting, the P and the Q are the alleles present in an gene frequencies where they are always equal to the 1 or 100. So here for if gene frequency will be the presenting the same generation to generation, then it shows the Weinberg Law. If it is not taken place here, the evolution will be changes. That means the evolution will be a changes when it is not taken place. So that is mainly P plus Q is equal to 1, where here they explains the equation in the form of then here practically the application of this law will show that an principle, that is P plus Q is equal to 1 can be applied to an population to find out the gene frequency. That is we can finding a gene frequency, that is in equation P plus Q is equal to 1 or 100%, where it is depending upon the ratio of a gene frequency. By calculating the gene frequency, we can able to know that is and a principal P plus Q is equal to 1. So with the help of where we can able to find out the gene frequency. So here if it taken place, let us discuss the that is the alleles M. Let us discuss let the allele is equal to the allele is one of the allele is M and another allele is another allele is a small m, where here it represents the P is equal to capital M and Q is equal to a small m, where these are the two alleles where they are taken place in a population. One allele is taken place as representation of a capital M, and second allele will represent the small m, where here if we see in this one in an ratio of that is in an equation P plus Q is equal to 1 here in the squaring on the both sides, so that here we'll get P square plus 2PQ plus a Q square is equal to 1. So here these are the three genotypics. These are the three genotypes where they are taken place. Where here with the genotypes is that we can produce capital M plus capital M, small m, capital M, the small m and small m. These are the genotypes where it takes place in a population. That is, these are the genotype where we can take place in an equation P square plus 2PQ plus SP square is equal to 1. So that when it is taken place here, that capital M is equal to 50%. It is also a 50%, so that when it is taken place here 1 by half, it is taken place that will produce 0.5. Here also if it taken place 1 by half, here a 0.5 ratio is taken place in an gene frequencies. So these values are distributed here. These values are distributed that are presenting these genotypes which are presenting that is substituted in equation. Then we can able to get here P square is M. That means P square means M square here. Q square means small m square. So here if you institute 0.5 whole square plus 2 into 0.5 into 0.5 plus 0.5 whole square is equal to, if we taken place here we can get 0.5 into 0.5 means 0.25 plus 2 into we can get here 0.50. We can able to get 0.50 plus 0.25. So here when we calculate here 0.25, 0.25, 50, 0. plus 0.5 is equal to 1. That means here P square plus Q square is equal to 1 or 100%, where we can able to define this. That means the expression M and M as 25%, the capital M, the capital M percentage is 25%, and the small m percentage is 25, and capital M small m percentage is 50%. So overall we can able to get the 100%, where that is equal to the 1 ratio. So here we can know, we can see that above equation the proportion of alleles has remains the same. That means the proportion of the alleles will remains the same, and the value of that is P plus Q is equal to 1. So here it shows that there is no chance of gene frequency and there is no evolution. Here the gene frequency, the change in gene frequency will not be taken place. If no change in frequency, no change gene frequency, no change gene frequency, here it shows that there is no evolution. There is no evolution. That means if gene frequency is changes, here it helpful for the alteration of an evolution. If gene frequency is not taken place, here the evolution is also not be taken place. So here with the help of these, so here gene frequency is always constant. Already said, in a largely populated, that is largely sexual reproductive population of all various types of genes present in a gene pool, where there will be remains constant, will be a constant. That means the gene frequency is a constant. The gene frequency is a constant, then we can show that there is no evolution. If that gene frequency is altered, that means it changes during the factors of mutation or natural selection or a migration, here the gene frequency in a population will be changing. When it is changing is taken place, here it shows that then an evolution. When gene frequency is not taken place, there is no gene frequency, here there is no evolution. If gene frequency is the changes from generation to generation, here evolution also will be taken place from a generation to a generation. That is simply explained by the scientist, that is the Hadjian Weinberg, by that principle of P plus Q is equal to 1. Where here alleles that taken place, two alleles, one is capital M and another one is small m. This capital M will represents the P and the small m will represents the Q, where we have substituted the equation in the formula, that is P square plus 2PQ plus Q square is equal to 1, where we have substituted the values so that here is equal to the 1 only. So otherwise here 100%, that means here m percentage 25, small m percentage 25, capital M, small m is percentage is 50, overall here 100%. That means if the gene frequency is the same, there is no evolution. If the gene frequency changes, here it helpful for the taking place of an evolution. These are the where it takes place. That means eventually frequency is not constant and evolution changes are taken place. That means their gene frequency is not constant. Here representing the gene frequency, there is no gene frequency. If gene frequency is not constant means if it is changing, here it shows an evolution. The evolution also will increase. This it shows the evolution from a generation to a generations. That is a simple and experimental formula which was explained by the Weinberg. Now coming to the significance of the Weinberg. So here what are the significance means? Here it shows that a clearance of it shows that the clearly describes when population is equilibrium, there is no evolution. That means it clearly shows that when the population is equilibrium, the population is equilibrium. When population is equilibrium, there is no evolution. Here it shows that the significance. Here it clearly describes that if the population is it shows the population is in equilibrium, then here there is no evolution. And also here equilibrium occurs only when the evolution is occurs when there is an equilibrium is altered. That means here evolution, second one, evolution is taken place and the equilibrium is altered. That means evolution is taken place when an equilibrium equilibrium is altered, altered. That means here any changing in an equilibrium, that is in a population, any equilibrium is taken place, either increasing or decreasing in an gene frequency. Here it shows that then evolution. And last one here, the evolution, that is the significance. Here evolution will shows that the recessive characters, the equilibrium conserves the recessive characters. That means this will be shows that these are the three characters. One is the equilibrium conserves the recessive character. The third one is the equilibrium conserves the recessive characters. So these are the three characters, or these are the three significance where it shows that they had given a Weinberg law. That is, one is the population is equilibrium, the population is an equilibrium, there is no evolution. That means if the equal population will having equilibrium, constant population is presenting, here there is no equilibrium. And evolution is taken place when equilibrium is altered. That means here altered means equilibrium population is either increasing or decreases, or gene frequency in a gene population, or gene pool in a gene pool, or gene population, or gene flow are transferring from one to the donor to the acceptors, or from one place to the another place. Here genes are transferring. Then here it shows that an evolution. And also equilibrium will refer with conserves. That means the recessive characters which are present in a gene that conserves in the an equilibrium. So these are the three factors, that is, these are the three significance where it takes place in an had given a Weinberg, that was explained by an formula P plus Q is equal to a 1. That means here the gene frequency is always constant from generation to generation, there is no evolution. That is a P plus Q. That means the alleles which are present in a population will remain constant. That means if they are constant, here there is no evolution. If they are altered, here it helpful for the showing of an evolution. This is how it is taken place. That is a hard given a Weinberg law. So in next class we will discuss that is the factors affecting the rate of an hard given a Weinberg law.